You started a career path and have been grinding away, maybe all the way to the top. But you've decided the career you've dedicated your life to isn't the career you want to dedicate your life to. Now is just the beginning. Starting out or starting fresh. It's time to become the Work Experience Kid. I thought I'd release a diary episode once in a while to share various learnings and experiences with you. Now, I want to take you back to like 2010 or so. I bought the domain name workexperiencekid.com because I thought it was a cool thing to do, but I had no idea what to do with it. And it was like really cheap at the time too. At one stage, I started writing parody content like The Batuta Advocate or The Onion. I don't remember when exactly that was, but I published it on that website, workexperiencekid.com. It didn't gain any traction. I didn't keep it up, and obviously a bit of both, where no one came to the website because I never kept it up. But I remember thinking over the next few years, how cool would it be to be able to help people move into different careers or something? And it was just that thought. Now, I had a job at a pretty big media company, and I quit that job without a plan. I picked up some freelancing work, and I've had some pretty good, solid clients that have supported me, so thanks to them. But as you've heard so far with this pod, and especially in the trailer, which sums up everything quite nicely, where to from here? And because I quit that job, it meant that I had a little more time available to me. And so I started working on projects that I hadn't had the time or the bandwidth or even the passion to germinate properly. So to give you an example, I wrote and released a book, Let's Not Be a Dick Today. That was something that took me like 10 years to complete, and maybe I'll tell you that story a little bit later. But it brings me now to the Work Experience Kid podcast. The book was all done after 10 years, but the earlier seed of an idea was still rattling around. How can we help people find a new job or career? And combine that with what's next for me, the idea for this pod manifested itself. So I chatted with a couple of mates about the idea, and they were supportive, potentially apprehensive, because here comes another dude doing a podcast. But you're a creative person, so you got to get creating, all that sort of stuff. I recorded the first episode with Ed Calishaw on the 9th of December 2024, and another episode on the 6th of Jan 2025. And if you've been following along, the third episode is about how to edit a podcast. I had someone lined up, but he was busy. I won't go into that, but it was impossible to get hold of him, and the only times we spoke was regarding his life and not this project of mine. And to be honest, this project is the last thing that he needed to focus on at the time. So until I could record him, this podcast was on hold. Now, I think it was in Jan or Feb or even a little bit later, I saw that an audio producer called Andy Marr had started a pod that aims to help people who have worked in radio find a new career by tapping into their skills. And if you're not in the media industry, media people are some of the best people that you could have on staff. My experience is more in the radio industry. They are amazing. Anyway, Andy and I go way back. We had a positive working relationship for a few years there. We drifted apart due to the areas that our work took us. Now, you can see that Andy's gone and produced a podcast that is in a very similar area to mine. He got episode 1 out first, so to the public and even to Andy, whatever I release could be seen as a copy of whatever he's doing. And it doesn't matter what I say, because at the end of the day, he got his pod out first. I'm actually yet to listen to it because I don't want to inadvertently copy anything that he's doing. We could be in a completely different space. But I'm telling you this because I've had 2 issues pop up that have prevented me from publishing content. This particular content, Work Experience Kid podcast content. I wasn't able to record with a guest, and I would be seen as a copycat. Obviously, you're hearing this diary entry now, so I've released some more episodes, and what it took was a realization that there were 2 issues that are not actually issues. I want to speak to people in different industries to find a job that I like, and in the process share that journey to hopefully help you find a new job, or at least better understand what people do. So why shouldn't I do that? Why can't people listen to the Work Experience Kid podcast and Andy's podcast, which is called Off Mic, Life After Radio? Like, why can't there be both? And if people think I copied, well, they think I copied. That actually doesn't matter, except it affects my ego. So I pushed publish on the first episode and the second one without having a third and a fourth ready to go. I recorded more episodes to keep the ball rolling and in the air, or whatever the saying is around balls. And the other problem is I had an unavailable guest. I know so many people who edit audio. I didn't have to be set on that one person. You've got Dom Evans, who runs Earsay, Tim Mountford, Andy Marr, who's doing that podcast, and so many more people who I won't list because it'll just take too long. And as you can see, I pushed ahead with Mandy Turner. And it's not to say that I won't get another audio editor on the pod down the track. Every one of them has a fantastic career, and you really should hear their stories. So I'll do my best to get them on, spread it out over time though, so it's not just the audio engineering podcast. But this highlights the limitations that we put on ourselves. And in this case, a couple of really weak excuses to not do something. And it delayed me from publishing the first episode by 5 months. So to wrap up, what limitations have you put on yourself that's preventing you from working on a passion project or from dipping your toe in a new career? What's making you procrastinate? Here's another one about this pod. I should have video to go with it. Yeah, I should be recording video with guests. Video helps with discoverability on socials, but I'll tell you why I haven't done video and have stuck with only audio so far. I wanted to bootstrap the whole thing, and you have to pay for software and apps like Riverside that record video and audio at the same time. I was doing things remotely, so it's obviously harder to record, say, people in a studio when you've got one person on Zoom and me in my own little office studio space. I don't have good video editing software either. It's just what's default on my computer. And I'm working with people who aren't professional media personalities, and I want them to feel comfortable and tell me things and not hold back, especially in the early days of me finding my feet with this podcast. You'll see that I've listed a handful of excuses there, and there's just reasons why I'm neglecting video for now. I do want to include it, especially because it'll make the task episodes so much better. I want to do it, but I need to get this podcast moving along. I need to focus on the only thing that this podcast is, and that's an audio-first podcast. It doesn't mean that it will always be an audio-only podcast. Don't let perfection be the enemy of good. At the moment, I just need to get started. Then I need it to get good, and then I can make it perfect. Obviously, you never get to perfect, but you get the sentiment. So get started. Try to reframe those limitations. Realize that, like in the cases I've mentioned so far, they're actually bullshit. There's something in your mind telling you that, I don't know, you can't succeed, so you find reasons to not start in the first place. I don't know what's going on with you. That's for you to figure out. Is there something that you can do to chip away at your goals? So maybe pull back a bit. Inspect it. Find someone encouraging that you can bounce off who might be able to call you out and nudge you in a better direction. I think that's all for now. Thanks for your support. I appreciate that you listen to the pod. And good luck with that new job, career, side hustle, or that passion project. And if you want to contribute to the podcast, maybe you would like to help out and be a guest on the pod, or maybe you would like to have a question asked, or maybe you want me to investigate a certain job or industry, hit up the website workexperiencekid.com.